And there's this channel on YouTube who goes by the name of Hoser, and just 1 week ago he published a video about the island of Borneo. Personally, I am neutral to Hoser's channel. He made a lots of video covering a wide range of topics, too wide in my opinion, too much width and not enough depth. But I don't think it's too bad for his video on Borneo. I'm just going to comment on the history part. Some are wrong, some require more context, and some are interesting. I'm not going to touch on the political stuff because frankly I'm not the right person to talk about those. For this video I'm just going to comment on based on my memory from what I have read from much of my life.
Claims to be a vassal of his, at least for the small price of $2,500 a year. James Brooke was made Raja of this territory in 1842, the White Raja of Sarawak.
I do find it interesting he used the year 1842 because we here in Sarawak usually we use the year 1841 instead. So which is right? Well, both of them. Listen, I know it's more complicated than that, but I'm going to simplify a lot of things right now. So after Sir James Brooke put down the rebellion on September 1841, James Brooke declared himself as Raja of Sarawak. The only problem is no other power recognizes it. I can claim I'm a Raja right now, but there's nothing to back me up. For 1 year, James Brooke managed to win over the local leaders, and on 1st of August 1842, James Brooke was able to obtain the confirmation from the Sultan of Brunei, recognizing him as the Raja of Sarawak. So in short, September 1841, James Brooke declared himself a Raja. August 1842, the confirmation letter from the Sultan of Brunei.
James Brooke, its founder, had expanded its territory from this to this through a series of deals.
And that's just wrong. James Brooke managed to expand his territory only up to Rejang River Basin, no more. It's right here, right around here.
James's son Charles was much.
He should have just said James Brooke's successor. Charles Brooke was not James Brooke's son.
James's son Charles was much more of the businessman, trying to promote a sago export industry using foreign money and Chinese immigration, though they didn't permit any European business to be set up, choosing to protect the Brooke monopoly over fast exploitative growth.
There's a reason why Sir Charles was more business-minded. James Brooke left Sarawak deep in debt. I'm going to say it, Sir Charles was a better Raja compared to Sir James. What I dislike about this part is that it kind of implies Sir Charles Brooke lived lavishly. No man, amongst the British officers here in Sarawak, he was famous for his frugality and really disliked luxury. Even the Archduke of Austria-Hungary, Franz Ferdinand, commented on this when he visited Kuching. The Archduke was complaining that the moth had damaged the furniture. Bro, this was the Astana, the palace. Secondly, many of his business ventures were not profitable. He may be business-minded, but boy is he bad at business. But because of his frugality, he managed to pay off Sarawak's debt little by little.
The Sultan was wary of the Brooks' growing influence though, so to counteract it he, bear with me, sold a chunk of northern Brunei to an American businessman. I guess to balance different types of foreign rulers on both halves of the island.
This part of the video is the one that convinced me to make this response. I agree that it's silly on the face of it, I thought so too, but there is a good reason. You see, when James Brooke became Raja, and especially after James Brooke conquered Labuan, the Sultan of Brunei got understandably a bit bitter. But he did get something out of it. The most obvious is the fact that Sarawak is giving him money each year. Plus, the British boats sailing across Borneo actually helped reduce the number of pirates. And another thing, the deal with the British actually gave the Sultan of Brunei legitimacy. So the Sultan tried to replicate the deal, which would be more favorable to him. You know, keep all the good stuff and minimize all the bad stuff. The Sultan actually have a bit of problem during the 1850s. His northern possession is bringing him no money. Policing the land would cost him money. And worst of all, the Sultan of Sulu at the time is exerting his influence on this part of Borneo. I'm not going to say too much about this, but I'll just say this. This whole North Borneo mess started in 1660 due to cockfighting. Bro, we here killing each other because a bunch of rich people bet on the wrong birds. Okay, now with all this in mind, the deal with the Americans would 1. Bring in money annually, in theory anyway, 8,200 Spanish dollars, and then bump up later on. 2. The American ship sailing the waters would help to cement his legitimacy on his North Borneo possession. And finally 3. There is a deadline, 10 years, and the deal had to be renewed again. But there are huge problems with this strategy. Mainly, we don't know if the other guy is able to fulfill the financial obligation. And if he can't, how can you force him to pay up with your non-existent army? It was a huge gamble. Jose put a picture of Tori here. Yes, Tori was the Yankee Raja, but he was not the first one. The first one was actually a Union veteran. I made a short video about him over here.
Which the Brooks broke 2 years later, splitting what remained of the kingdom in half with the annexation of this territory.
You see, the first sign of trouble came out in 1884, where the tax collector was killed. I actually wrote a long answer script for this part, but it kind of became a bit too long, and before I know it, it had reached more than 2,000 words. So I had to stop myself from writing too much. I will tackle the issue of Limbang and its annexation by Sarawak in another video. But I'm just going to say this, Limbang was actually more important than many people realize, and Brunei's response to it helped it to survive even to this day. One wrong move and it's the end of Brunei, and the trouble arose because of taxes. As for the rest, I'm not going to touch modern day politics, like I said. For Kalimantan, he didn't say too much, so I really have nothing to comment on Kalimantan. Oh, this comment is interesting. He didn't mention the konfrontasi. Yeah, that's a big part of Borneo history, but to be fair to Jose, he was exploring why GDP of Borneo was split so unevenly. Overall, Jose was neutral throughout the video, and I appreciate that. I mean, sure, some mistakes happen, but that kind of expected with people who do wide topics, which is also the reason why I don't watch them too much. Too much width and not enough depth for my liking. But yeah, this is an okay video, better than mine, that's for sure. So I made this video mainly because I somehow got 10 subs. I don't know why, but I feel like I have to post a video to mark the occasion. I'm still doing my video about the proto-writing on Sarawak. I think the script is done and the references are good enough, so maybe it will take me 1 more month to edit the whole 20 to 30 minutes video. In the meantime, I'm going to do small, simple, barely edited videos like this.